Hello, hello! Welcome to another episode of Stencil Play. So today we are working with gel medium and stencils, and I have a confession to make. This is the first time I've ever used gel medium in a stencil, but I got this Vicky Boutine from American Crafts gel medium, and I'm going to give it a whirl and see how it goes. So I have a good idea of how gel medium works. I've never used it before. So the first thing I'm going to struggle with here is getting the bottle open. It had this plastic piece and then an aluminum piece, and then I got that opened, and then I put the lid back on and thought, okay, we're ready to go. But no, because there was like this other cardboard piece that was like up in the nozzle as well. So, you know, that was fun. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm using this palette knife spreader thing, and I was very careful with this. My stencil is from Studio Calico. It's an older like Mr. Huey stencil, but it's really just this really pretty ornate kind of ampersand. So what I'm doing here is I want to do kind of like a resist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spread and spread and spread until I'm sure that the entire ampersand on the inside is completely covered with the gel medium, so that when I go ahead and do some of the mixed media over this card, it does go ahead and does the resist technique the way I want. And it does work really well. And then also, apparently there was a little bit of green paint on my stencil. I didn't realize, and so there's a tiny little bit of green paint on my ampersand, but I cover it up and you don't even see it in the end result. So I'm just going to let that set aside and dry it. And I let it dry overnight. I wasn't sure how long it would take to dry, but I knew that I didn't want to do anything more to it until it was completely dry. So I just went about cleaning up all this sticky gel medium and then waiting till the next morning to finish my layout. So the next morning the gel medium is really dry, and you can see off to the left there the photos I'm going to be using, and I'm also going to be using lots of different Maggie Holmes products. So the technique that I'm going to use is one that Missy Whitten recently did with her Shimmers products. She called it the reverse packaging technique. So what I've done here is I have collected together all of my pinks and all of my peach shimmers and pasties, and I'm going to go ahead with not that paintbrush because it was too big. I'm going to grab a smaller one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make almost an ombre kind of idea. So I'm going to use that 4x6 card that I used the gel medium on. I'm going to use that as like a title card for my layout. And so now I'm just taking all these different shades of pasties and shimmers and the sprays. And if you have any questions about specific colors, don't be afraid to leave me a comment and ask, because I don't remember them all. I believe I used pink stiletto, peachy keen, mandarin mai tai, raspberry sorbet, and then the other peachy pasties is called peach fizz. I think those are all of my layout, all of the colors that I used. So hey, look at that, I remembered them all. Anyway, so I'm making kind of like an ombre idea here with the peaches and the pinks, and so I'm just using these paintbrushes to make these swirls, and the pasties is going to provide a really cool texture, and I'm going to add more to the texture of that after it's all done. So as soon as this is, as soon as I put my last coat of medium on here, I'm just going to press that card into my mess I've just created on that packaging. And next I'm going to go ahead and grab some paper towel and kind of blot some of it off. Actually, my point with doing this is so that the paper towel will stick to the pasties. Oh, I don't know. First, apparently I needed to clean it, and I don't know why I left this all in my video. I'm so sorry. How boring. So what I'm going to do is I'm trying to rub away some of this resist with a paper towel, which this worked really well. And when it's all finished, it worked out. I really enjoyed using the gel medium, and I would do it again. And so now I'm pushing the paper towel down into it to get the texture from the pasties up there. And then I'm just going to let this sit aside and dry. So now everything's dry, and I've cut down my, this is kind of my idea for my layout where I want everything to go, but I want to add a little bit more of the color, the idea of the painted color to my background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I am just going to use this pencil and draw a square right here around the paper. And my fuzzy head was in most of that, so I totally took it out. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, this is cotton candy spritz, and I'm going to take this little paintbrush and I am going to paint kind of like a messy border with the spritz all the way around this part of my layout. Again, this isn't my idea. I know it's been done before by lots and lots of different people. I know Chamel used to do it with glimmer mist too. So it's not a new technique or anything. I'm just going to paint a nice border around my paper with this Shimmers spritz. And now that that border is done, I'm just going to take some Vintage Photo Distress ink and I'm going to create all of my layers on top of my background. So my plan for this layout now is to place that 4x6 card that I've created with the gel medium. And I'm going to put it up between my two photos. And then I'm going to use the areas where there are little gaps or little angles that I've created. And I'm going to use those areas as my areas of embellishment. And I believe I point them out on camera here. So down there is going to be an area of embellishment and up there. And then I do end up with a little bit down by the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and start with my title. And this is a super easy title. If you watched my Fab Friday video for Spiegelmom Scraps for the Blog Cop, I was talking about how I'm trying to finish an album. It's almost finished and I just have a couple more pages to do. And I was working with our family pictures that we had taken in 2015. And on Friday I did the 5x7 photo of just my son, and I talked about how all these family photo pictures, I want to use Maggie Holmes products on them because I like when events or photos like this where you have a lot of pages in there, or a couple pages, and they're all from a same event or same photo shoot, I like to use the same designer or the same types of products on them. So I'm going to go ahead and use this as my title card, and I'm going to put the date on it, and this will be like the first photo, the first page, and then there'll probably be the photo that I did on Friday of my son, and then I have, I think, 3 more pages that I need to complete as well, and you'll probably see those coming up. I've taken a little bit of a break from my stash kits and from my kit clubs. I've kind of set them aside right now because I really want to finish these pages in this album and get them into a bookcase. So what I'm doing here is I'm just adding some gold glitter thickers, and I'm going to go ahead and put them up at the top. And now I'm going to embellish, and I decide I don't use a lot of pre-made embellishments. I do end up kind of deciding that I want to fussy cut a lot of my embellishments. I do take this smile and this butterfly, and then I'm going to use some of the washi tape book. Most of the products that I'm using are from either Bloom or Gather, either the Gather collection or the Bloom collection. That background paper with the pink diagonal stripe, that one is from, oh my, Style Board, maybe? Open Book? One of those two. That's from a really, really very older Maggie Holmes collection. So where you see that I'm kind of just roughly cutting all of these butterflies, and I had saved that one little bird to fussy cut, I'm going to fussy cut those off camera, and when I fussy cut them, I'm going to pop them up on Pop Dots, and I'm going to go ahead and hit them with some Vintage Photo Distress ink as well. So I'm just right now getting a rough idea of where I want these embellishments to go and how I want them to come around, and I think the way that I leave them on this layout before I go back is the way that they stay. I believe. Except I do recall that I add a butterfly, like an extra butterfly in that gap between the word photos and the butterfly. So now I'm just, I'm trying to decide if I like that. I kind of go through and audition quite a number of embellishment pieces here and kind of decide what I like and where I like everything. And so this is what I end up with at the end of my embellishment picking session, which took a while. And now I'm just going to go ahead through and fussy cut all of these different pieces and add some pop dots and some ink to places. And now they're all done and ready to go. So this is how my layout is going to turn out at the end. The only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. This is another product. I have 2 bottles of it and I'm really trying to use it up. I also have some gold shimmers spray vibes that I really, really like, and I think that it drops a little bit better than my Heidi Swap, so I'm hoping to use up my Heidi Swap bottles and be able to kind of start using the other Shimmers Vibes ones. So I'm just going to clean up my work surface here, and that will complete this layout. We have one more stencil play video for you. That will be next week, where we're going to pair our stencils with sequins. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!